There is a place on your body, a place your own hand can touch without looking, a forgotten corner right behind the curve of your ear. It is not just any place. In the stillness of the night, when the world seems asleep, but your mind refuses to quiet down, that small point becomes a silent beacon, an ancient secret your fingers can find. This is not new knowledge. It is an ancient truth that has traveled through the centuries, waiting for you to rediscover it. It is not about magic, but about a deep wisdom concerning the language of your own being, a reminder that the simplest answers are often hidden in plain sight, or in this case, at the simple touch. It speaks to an intimacy we often forget we have with ourselves, a direct line of communication that bypasses the noisy chatter of the conscious mind and goes straight to the core of our nervous system. We live immersed in constant noise, an endless stream of stimuli that keeps our minds in a perpetual state of alert. The worries of the day accumulate, layering upon each other until they form a formidable barrier between us and the deep cellular rest we so profoundly crave. Sleep, that natural act that should be a refuge, becomes for many a source of frustration, a nightly battle against the relentless clock and against the whirlwind of our own thoughts. But this struggle, this sense of being at war with rest, is a distinctly modern affliction. Ancient sages and healers did not see sleep as a mere biological necessity to be optimized, but as a sacred journey, a bridge to the divine where the soul replenishes itself and the body finds its natural, effortless rhythm of healing. And to cross that bridge safely, they knew of simple paths, maps not drawn on paper but engraved into the very skin itself, passed down through generations as a whispered wisdom. One of those gentle paths leads directly to an almost secret point behind the ear, a place known in traditional Chinese medicine as An-Mian, which translates literally to peaceful sleep or quiet rest. This point is like a master key hidden in plain sight, a subtle switch on the control panel of our own being. Ancient Chinese doctors with a deep and nuanced understanding of the energy meridians or qi that run through the body like invisible rivers taught that stimulating An-Mian had the profound power to calm restless spirits, to dissolve the knotted energy of accumulated anxiety, and to gently guide a person into a state of deep, restorative rest from which one awakens truly renewed. But this beautiful intuition was not exclusive to China. It was a thread in a global tapestry of understanding. The Ayurvedic philosophy of Vedic India also recognized the profound connection between these specific areas near the ear and the flow of prana, the essential life force. Massaging these areas was considered a sacred act of purification, a way to sweep the mind clear of the day's debris and unnecessary burdens, allowing consciousness to sink into deeper, more tranquil states of stillness and receptivity. Even in the Greek tradition, the great physician Hippocrates intuited a special connection between the earlobe and the body's overall equilibrium, recommending its gentle manipulation to alleviate various ailments and to facilitate the body's descent into necessary rest. This convergence of wisdom across continents and eras suggests something fundamental, a universal recognition that the gateway to tranquility is not always found in grand gestures, but in the quiet, deliberate attention we pay to the sacred geography of our own bodies. It is an invitation to participate in our own unwinding, to become an active partner in the art of rest, rather than a passive victim of wakefulness. By touching this point, we are not just pressing a button. We are engaging in a dialogue with our deepest physiology, speaking the language of calm that our body has been waiting to hear. It is a ritual that transforms the anxious anticipation of sleep into a gentle ceremony of surrender, reminding us that peace is not a distant destination to be reached, but a potential already woven into our very form, waiting only for the conscious touch to bring it to life. These cultures, seemingly distant in geography and tradition, converged on a remarkably holistic understanding of the human being. For them, the state of one's sleep was a profound indicator of one's overall harmony. Insomnia was not just a fleeting discomfort or a simple annoyance to be medicated away. It was a meaningful sign of an internal imbalance, a whisper of disconnection between the physical body and that more subtle, essential dimension, the spirit or soul that inhabits us. Sleep was revered as the moment when the soul, temporarily freed from its earthly anchor, could travel ethereal realms and reconnect with its source. It was a sacred dialogue, a time for downloading wisdom and healing, returning to the body at dawn, not just rested, but with insights and a sense of genuine renewal. That is why preparing for sleep was considered an art form, a deliberate unwinding of the day's tensions, and the An-Mian point was a privileged, intimate tool in that nightly ritual. On a more esoteric level, this practice was supported by the view of the ear as a microcosm of the entire body, a perfect miniature map where every point corresponded to and could resonate with a different part of the organism. Therefore, stimulating this specific sleep point was symbolically much more than a local action. It was like activating a single pure frequency of peace that would then vibrate and echo throughout your entire being, harmonizing the whole system. Today, with the benefit of modern insight, we can appreciate this ancestral gesture from two complementary perspectives that, upon closer examination, beautifully intertwine into a single truth. On one hand, modern science offers us a tangible, physiological explanation that demystifies the magic without diminishing the wonder. By gently rubbing that specific area behind the earlobe, we are stimulating a dense network of vagus nerve endings and branches of the great auricular nerve. This stimulation sends a direct urgent signal along the neural pathways to the parasympathetic nervous system, that often neglected part of our autonomic system responsible for the essential rest and digest functions. It's like pressing a deep, internal switch that overrides the day's panic signals and tells the entire body it can finally stand down, that the watch is over. The physiological response is both immediate and measurably profound. The heart rate variability improves, the breath naturally deepens and slows as the diaphragm unlocks, and the brain begins to shift its electrical activity from frantic beta waves to the serene rolling theta and alpha waves, associated with deep relaxation, meditation, and the very gateway to sleep. Scientific studies are now beginning to explore and validate how this precise stimulation around the ear can influence the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, encouraging the production of key neurotransmitters like melatonin, the sleep hormone, and serotonin, the precursor to melatonin that is essential for regulating not just the sleep cycle, but also a calm and stable mood. But the older, energetic vision adds an equally important and profound layer of depth to this scientific explanation. From this angle, by massaging the An-Mian point, we're engaged in something more than just relaxing muscles or stimulating nerves. We're actively unblocking the flow of our vital energy, our chi or prana, which has become stagnant and knotted due to the sheer weight of the day's stress, worry, and ceaseless overstimulation. It is like gently releasing a sluice gate that has been holding back a river of calm, allowing it to flow freely once more, irrigating every parched corner of your being and bringing that nourishing feeling of peace, not just to the body, but to the anxious mind and the weary spirit. The location of this point is itself profoundly symbolic. It resides at a crucial crossroads, right on the delicate threshold between the external world of incoming sounds, distractions, and chaos, and the inner sacred silence of consciousness and self-awareness. Stimulating it is, philosophically, the act of facilitating that delicate transition, from the noise of the day to the quiet of the night, from the grasping of wakefulness to the surrender of sleep, guiding the self across that threshold with intention and care. The technique itself remains wonderfully simple, a testament to the idea that profound acts need not be complicated. Yet its true power resides not in the motion itself, but in the quality of intention with which it is applied. It is not meant to be a mechanical, rushed movement performed while staring at a screen. It is at its best a conscious ritual, a gift of time you give to yourself. To truly do it, find a moment of quiet. Place the pads of your index and middle fingers in that small yielding hollow just behind the bone of your earlobe, and close your eyes. Begin to make soft, constant, and loving circular motions, as if you are soothing something precious. There is no need for strong pressure. The goal is a firm and present touch, a communication of safety. As your fingers trace these small hypnotic circles, Let your attention drift inward to the rhythm of your own breath. Inhale deeply, drawing in a sense of peace, and as you exhale, visualize how every spiral of worry, every tightly wound thread of the day's tension, unravels at your touch and dissolves into nothingness. You can mentally accompany this gentle gesture with soft internal mantras of surrender. Thoughts like, "I am safe now," "I allow myself to rest completely," or "I trust in the flow of life to hold me." Over time, through consistency, your body and mind will begin to form a powerful association, recognizing this specific, gentle gesture as an unwavering signal that it is now time to disconnect from the world, to let go, and to surrender completely to the waiting embrace of rest. The effects can be immediate for some, a pleasant heaviness in the eyelids, and a muscle relaxation that invites sleep within minutes. For others, it is a more gradual process, where consistent practice night after night trains the nervous system to let go more easily, improving sleep quality and making awakenings more restorative. However, reducing the An-Mian point to a simple sleep trick would be to stay on the surface. Its true value lies in the profound lesson it encapsulates. Insomnia is often, at its core, a resistance to letting go of control. The mind, accustomed to directing, analyzing, and worrying, can find the act of surrender terrifying, of giving in to the vulnerability of sleep where it is no longer in charge. The practice of rubbing behind the ear then becomes much more than a massage. It is a physical act of trust. It is a gesture that gently repeats to the mind that it can let go, that the world will keep turning, that it is safe to drift away. This practice invites us to integrate rest into our lives as a conscious and sacred act. To enhance its effects, we can create a ritual around sleep. Preparing the environment is crucial. The night must become a sanctuary. Turning off screens, dimming the lights, and dedicating a few minutes to tranquility before bed signals to the body that the day is over. Practicing gratitude right before sleeping, remembering even 3 simple things you are grateful for that day, can completely change your emotional vibration, pushing anxiety away and attracting calm. And perhaps most importantly, it is to abandon the desperation to sleep. Sleep is like a shy visitor. If you chase it, it runs away. If you create a space of calm and trust, it comes on its own. So, if after performing the massage, sleep is slow to arrive, do not fight it. Remain in that state of stillness and peace, remembering that rest has already begun in your body and mind, even before deep sleep envelops you. Sleeping well is, in essence, an act of faith. It is trusting the process of life, trusting that we can let go of the reins and allow something greater than ourselves to take over for a few hours. The An-Mian point is a tangible door to that experience. Every night as we close our eyes, we embark on a journey into the unknown, a momentary return to a mystery from which we came. Honoring this journey, preparing for it with awareness and care, is to remember the teachings of the sages, that our body is a sacred map, a book of wisdom written in flesh and energy. And on that map, the point hidden behind your ear is an eternal reminder that the keys to serenity are not outside, waiting to be bought, but within you, waiting to be touched. So tonight, when you turn off the light and seek rest, remember that little secret within your reach. Gently bring your hand behind your ear, rub with intention, and remember the ancient art of letting go, flowing, and allowing the universe to hold you. Because sleeping consciously is in reality awakening to a fuller life,